I told this girl on our second date that, I was happy to meet her, but I didn't really think it was going to work out. And then I continued to see her for 2 years. This was really annoying because I was aware that I had this problem for a while. And it's always just been really hard for me to disappoint somebody face to face. I had thought that I had worked through it, and I made this conscious decision like, okay, next time I'm definitely not going to allow myself to be strung along through a situation I don't want to be in. But instead, what happened, and what really caught me off guard, is that she asked me to give her another chance. And that was unexpected. And when I broke this news to her originally, the look of disappointment on her face just absolutely devastated me. And all I wanted to do is make that go away, however I could, which meant apparently committing to another 2 years of that. In this imagined scenario, I didn't account for the idea that someone would actually push back against me. I just thought I'd be like, no, and they'd be like, okay, cool. And yeah, that's not how it worked. Without having planned for that, I just thought, well, maybe I'm looking at this all wrong. Maybe I'm judging too soon. Maybe there's something here. It's really nice that somebody actually wants to be with me. And this happened over and over again across those 2 years, where I had decided, okay, here's the day that I'm going to say no, and I'm going to put an end to this thing. And I go to do exactly that, and it's pushed back against, and then I just end up caving at some point. And each time it didn't really feel in the moment like I was making a mistake. I felt like I was being reasonable. Or maybe I should just take another week to think about it a little bit more. And even in the few times where I did legitimately leave, a few months would pass before she would contact me again and convince me that things were different, and then it would just start over all over again. It was weird because I lost complete sense of time throughout this relationship, just because I was constantly like living week by week, thinking like, okay, well, I'll see her again next week, and then that's when I'll do it, and then it would just go in a circle. So in my memory, this whole situation doesn't even compute as a relationship to me. It was just one incredibly long breakup. And back then I used to do this almost like a form of self-therapy, where I would put in headphones and I would record a voice memo, and I would take a walk through the park and I would just have a conversation with myself. To me, I thought, like, if anybody sees me talking to myself, I have headphones in, so they'll just think I'm talking to somebody else. And I would speak as though I was in conversation and like waiting for someone to reply, but it was just me in my own head responding to myself. And at one point during one of these walks, I said, I think I would just feel a lot happier if I wasn't in this relationship anymore. And even though that thought had existed in my head for quite some time, it wasn't until that moment that I actually felt like, well, that's ridiculous. If that's how you feel, then why are you still in it? It seems super obvious, but it didn't connect until I spoke it. When I heard my voice saying those words, and then I was able to finally end things. The thing that was really hard for me about this situation was the confidence that I felt before going into it. I felt like when I realize it's not a good situation, I'm just going to walk away from it. No big deal. And I did exactly the opposite of that, which surprised me. So afterwards, I just felt really distrusting of myself. I didn't even allow myself to date for several years following that. I did not trust myself to hit the eject button if I needed to. Thankfully, I'm actually in a really great relationship now, but I'm not even sure that I would attribute that to me having learned my lesson. I think it was more that I just got lucky in meeting somebody who treated me decently, who I didn't have to end things with.